So listen, the hits keep rolling. I am sure most of you guys have heard about the Diddy situation and the Neo situation. I was quite shocked by the Neo situation. Telling you, people just be keeping a whole hidden. They be hiding in plain sight, don't they? Child. So, okay, first things first. Welcome. If you've never been to Chanel's reality, I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Um, so welcome and thank you. If you can, everyone, my returning subscribers or just someone returning to view another video, love you. If y'all can hit my buttons, let's see what buttons do I need y'all to hit. Notification, subscribe. What's the other button? Like. The like is like the best. You know, it helps me out in my new YouTube channel. I've had this YouTube channel what 2.5 months, I think. So, trigger warning. I'm gonna show a video filmed by one of Leo's. I'm not Leo's. Ney-Yo's baby mamas, for lack of a better word. The video itself doesn't have any type of violence, but some of the wording is strong. So, just letting you know ahead of time. The other thing I want to point out is um, everything that is said on Chanel's reality is in Chanel's opinion. That would be me. And it is all alleged and all for entertainment purposes. So let's get into it. I'm here for a short time, not a long time. So I'm just going to play the video and then we'll talk. Because this is what, make sure I have it turned up. I'm not going to play the whole video, I'm going to play part of it.
Please, tell them the real you. Tell them the real you.
Okay. What is happening? Why do I have to keep turning the sound back on? Oh, please. So, that's... It just starts like that for some reason.
Diddy Jr., tell him about the freak off. He calling the police, y'all. He calling, no, I don't give a, listen. No, you know what you did. You body slammed me on the floor. Come on, police. Tell them the real you. 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 And why we're here today. Tell them why we're here today. Shut boy, refuse to remove me. Why? Because the commotion. How did the commotion start? What did we talk about? What did I ask of you? All of that is irrelevant. Okay, so you calling the police like a y'all, guess what? Over what? Because he want hoes over the house while his kids is here. While you like to have hoes, drugs, and weed, alcohol, mushrooms, and prostitutes in the house while his kids are here. Everyone has asked him to stop, but he will not listen to nobody. This is what's going on. This is the tea. While the is in the house, I asked him not to bring the in the house. I even came over here to help him with these kids because he won't watch these kids. Tell them about the freak off, Diddy Jr. Diddy Jr., tell them about the freak off. Tell them about the freak off. Tell them the truth. Tell these people the truth. Oh, shut the fuck up. You don't give a fuck about none of these kids. Do y'all see a fucking picture in his house of a fucking kid? He don't care about these kids. All he care about is doing drugs, drinking alcohol, fucking these hoes. That's what you care about. So let's go. I'm a Diddy bop the fuck up out of here. You and your freak off. You can get back to your freak off in a minute. You'll be next. Your stories will be coming out next. He gonna say, my daughter crying. You gotta go. But the hoe gonna stay, huh? The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay?
Come on now.
The hoe gonna stay?
You're doing a lot.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Why can't you just be at home with your kids?
Why can't you just get out?
Why you just can't be at home with the kids?
Excuse me.
Why you can't be at home with the kids? Is that hard for you to lay in the bed and lay down with your kids?
No, I've done it before.
No, you don't do it. That's the problem. That's why I'm here, and you know that. And you know that. And you know that, though. And you know that. And you know that. I'm on that. Shut up. Shut up. Shut your up. Man, shut your up. Shut your up. Take care of your kids and shut the big man. Shut the fuck up. Mr. Clean, please stop playing with me before I slap you.
Again. Child. Hot ass mess, right? I cannot. So, I feel a few ways. So, let's get the obvious things out of the way. I do believe her for a few reasons. I don't know how many people watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but one of Candy Burris's, I would say, good friends was married. I'm almost certain about the marriage part, but I know she definitely had kids with him. But if I recall, they were married. And I think she went on the House of Aaron, and he interviewed her. And in that interview, again, if I recall correctly, I think she said to him that, I think he asked her why they divorced or whatever it was. And if my memory serves me, she said something to the effect of, when she was younger, and I'm paraphrasing, but at some point during their relationship, for lack of a better word, she was okay with certain things. So what I gathered was threesomes, whatever. And I think she said, I guess she wanted to keep her man, her husband or whatever. So she continued for however long. And then I'm sure after baby one or baby two or whatever, she probably felt a way about, like, you know what? We've been doing this for however long. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. Typically, growth happens for people. Doesn't mean people are going to change who they are, but growth does happen for most human beings. So, at some point, she didn't want to do it no more. He might have probably been cheating. I'm not sure about that part, but anyway. So, I'll just say this. Candy's friend, Neil's first wife, I believe, she seems credible. Especially when she said this about him and their relationship before this new baby mama lady. So it's just kind of like, makes sense. Plus, I don't know what news outlet was following Ney-Yo. He was somewhere, and he had 2 girlfriends with him. He was holding both of their hands. So apparently he's in a throuple. He says this is the first time he's ever been in a, I guess, throuple. He didn't use that word, but so he doesn't understand why the government is interfering with how many people he can be married to, and whatever else. So, because to me, why would Candy's friend, I'm not saying why would she lie, because people lie all the time, but like, she didn't have to say, I was doing these things previously and I just didn't want to continue to do them. She seemed truthful to me. Plus, what is she gaining, at least from the persona Ney-Yo put out to the world, what was she gaining from divorcing him? Some people may say, oh, she was gaining maybe alimony or whatever, child support. I don't know. It doesn't look good for her. To me. But anyways, she seems to be her own lady, and I'm almost certain, I'm pretty sure she's remarried and has, based on what she said, a good life as a wife, and I believe she's a philanthropist too. A philanthropist is, for some people that may not be familiar with the term, it's just basically a wealthy person who donates to charity, typically. So here's the issue. The issue is, I won't even assign the label or this statement to celebrities. However, celebrities, some do have a brand that they want to remain intact, a persona that they want to remain intact. They want to seem, interesting or rich, wealthy, whatever you want to fill in the blank word, they want to seem that way. Because they don't want to lose that fan base, whatever that fan base may be. Now, if you built your fan base being a shock jock, people that just say outlandish things all the time, that's what people are going to expect from you. But if your plan is to remain Hannah Montana, no shade, you're going to lose some fans when you decide to go be the complete opposite. No more wholesome Miley Cyrus anymore. She's one of the ones that was just like, yep, let me go and take this good girl Hannah Montana image, Disney image off of me because I don't want to be boxed into this one box. So to me, even the regular people like you and I, people use social media, in my opinion, some people, it's sort of like a resume. You know how when people show up for that interview and their resume got them that interview because why? They highlighted everything and lied about some shit. Stop me when I'm lying about something. We all have embellished. Yeah, I sure do know how to do that. Can't wait till I get in here because I'm going to figure it out. Let's go home and Google it. So it's the same thing with social media. People want to paint a picture to the public that, I'm going to just say this. They want to paint a picture to the public of whatever it is they want people to think they are. Or whoever it is they want people to think they are, including their family and friends. It just is what it is. And like I said, a resume is just a snapshot. Your highlights of employment, skills, training, education, whatever, experience. That's what it is. That's what a resume is. And to me, for a lot of people, that's what social media is. They want it to be a snapshot. So some of this is true. Not all of it, though. It's the reason why people take 94 photos before they post that really cute one. And then what do they put on it? Oh, God, what is it called? A filter. They put a filter on it. Because I woke up like this, honey. No, Beyonce woke up like that. And even she didn't wake up like that. I'm just saying. It's glam. That's what it is. We all had a glam team. Well, I won't say that. I was about to say we all had a glam team. We could look. No, we can't. Not all of us. That's a false statement. But anyways, look. Let me look at my notes. So what did I have here that I wanted to say? And why is my computer about to die? But that's okay. Hold, please. Okay. Looks like I went over a lot of it. Listen. So the flip side to it is if you don't watch the whole video, and that's why context is important in facts. But if you don't watch the whole video, then you may think that this is very one-sided and believe everything this woman is saying. And I'm not saying I believe everything she's saying because I don't know her. But what I will say is, to some degree, she shot herself in the foot because my opinion, okay? Nobody has the right to put their hands on you, period, point blank. But you also, in my opinion, from that footage, seems like to me, you're being very, you're using provoking words. It was almost like she wanted him to do something on camera. You're filming me. I know that you're filming me. So I ain't gonna do none of that. Not on camera. Not when I know. Right? So I feel like that's kind of how she's probably gonna get dragged big time. That's this YouTube, not YouTube, this Instagram is going to help actual victims. I'm sorry, help actual perpetrators. See? Look at what this lady is doing to Ney-Yo. She's provoking him, she's whatever. That being said, she did say at the very beginning of the video, because you body slammed me. The other thing is, the reason I believe at least some of what she's saying, he ain't deny it. If you're filming me saying that I body slammed you, I ain't about to let you just say that on film without me objecting. Nope. So, but again, if he goes from one room to another, it is going to come across like you're chasing him. You trying to get a reaction out of this man. And let's be clear, I'm objective. I could be objective. I can. I always believe victims unless there is some sort of credible proof that they're not, that they're lying and whatever else. So I also believe if he did body slam her, she's probably saying all the things she's saying because her give a fuck is now broken. If you body slam me, yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I don't have no kind words for you. But you do have to be intelligent about what you're doing. If this man has, according to you, slammed you already, you couldn't stop him from doing it, clearly. You want him to do it again? I don't. I'm leaving. And I'm going to go file a police report. That's what's going to happen. I also wouldn't leave my children in his care whatsoever. Because then she doesn't probably realize this because she's saying it on film and she's probably heated if that, in fact, did happen. You're not really thinking at that time when you're so wired up about whatever. But if you're thinking enough to try to film it or film this man doing whatever, get him caught up, whatever it is that her motive was. Hi. You have just, if it goes before a judge or whoever, you have just given his attorney a wealth of knowledge to pick apart. And any good attorney, especially if it's a defense attorney, their job is to poke holes in your story. They don't even have to poke a hole at this point. They're gonna, if it goes in front of a jury or a judge or whatever, they're gonna be like, you were provoking this man. How do we know you weren't provoking him before he body slammed? Whatever it is. And that's not to say that he should have body slammed her. He has the right to do it. But you probably don't want to load the GUN and give it to the person, is all I'm saying. You don't want to do that. It's just not a good look. And it's not going to help you, because if I'm the judge, if I'm the defense attorney, I'm about to make it very utterly clear, especially if I'm Ney-Yo's attorney, that no, not Ney-Yo's attorney. But Ney-Yo's attorney probably would ask this if she was on the witness stand, which if her attorney is a good attorney, that's never going to happen. But they're going to make it, I'm going to make it so clear that if this lady was so in fear of this man and this, that, and the other, why didn't you just leave? She can't say now he wouldn't let me, because you're standing here with the camera filming him. So doesn't look like he's obstructing your ability to leave. That's hole number one. Well, it's probably hole number 5. Because hole number 1 that I'm going to nail you to the cross with is, if you're a good mother, why are you talking about your kids with curse words? Number 2, well, no, that's number 2. Number 1, why on earth, if you know and you've witnessed this man doing drugs, especially the ones you named off in this video, why would you then leave your children in his care? Your duty as a parent is to protect your children. Listen, I just feel like that's a natural state of being. I'm not going to put my children in harm's way with a person who I am saying and claiming is a drug addict. Why would I do that exactly? So then, if I'm her attorney, you're not a fit mother either. What mom is going to allow her child to be, in that type of harm's way? If this man is so horrible, why does he have your child anyway? Unless it's a court order. And guess what? If I'm a parent, if I'm a mom, and the court has ordered me to allow my husband, baby daddy, whomever, to see this child, I'm going to demand that my attorney ask for a drug test. He ain't gonna pass it. He's not. Why is that? Why do I know that? Because, and listen, people, especially people who are addicted to substances, not all of them, but the ones that are typically addicted, physically addicted to hard drugs, I would say, it's like they have a community meeting about the dumb ish you should tell the judge or your attorney or whatever. So they'll tell each other, it's like they had a meeting before this person went to court. Okay, this is what you do if you know they can, get the, if you know they can take a hair sample, because a hair sample is going to go back at least 6 months. They can detect it. Plus, you're not always going to know when they're going to drug test you. So for all of those people out there like, oh, I'm going to buy some urine, some safe, clean urine, that's not going to help you. And all of the people that show up to court bald head, they shaved all their hair off their head, because listen, The people in the court, the lawyers and the attorneys, they're not smarter than the drug addicts. Let me just, cause I talked to my other friend. Let me just, shave off my head. Okay, why you can't listen? What they're gonna do? That isn't the only place people grow hair. But so many people I would see, they would show up like, listen, uh-uh. They don't know what they talking about. I don't have no hair to give them. You do. You do. Listen, alcohol is going to leave your system within 24, 48 hours, somewhere around there. Why? Because we all urinate throughout the day. And the more you urinate, the less alcohol you're going to have in your system. But, like I said, a judge, can we just go ahead and do the drug test now? And if you refuse, and let's say you like, you know what, they gonna get me again, because I also shaved my privates and my booty up and every place else, right? I narrowed my whole body. Okay. What's gonna happen next is called a what is the right word? Automatic fail. You automatically are setting yourself up to fail a drug test if you refuse to do whatever it is that you're refusing to do. So I can't go because I gotta go to work. I didn't have a car. I don't have whatever your excuses are. It doesn't even matter. So you can do the drug test, or you're gonna get an automatic fail. The judge can lock you up. They can do all kinds of stuff. But again, like I said, certain people, street people, hang around other street people. It just is what it is. And again, they listen to each other. Specifically that population. They do. I'm like, do y'all know that we've had advances? But again, if you're, all jokes aside, if you are not in your right state of mind, if you're impaired, you may believe anything, depending on what has you impaired. So if somebody's telling you this is what you listen, I had a court case too. My children were taken away too. Yeah, okay. Look, go ahead and believe your street pharmacist if you want to. It's not going to work. Because typically, if people are doing certain types of DRUGSs, they really can't make good decisions. Their focus is the next. And if people could just stop because you love your family or you love your kids and whatever else, they would. But they're physically addicted. If you're physically addicted, nothing matters, not even your own life. Think about it. If you know someone from childhood and you know they're a decent person, they at some point was a, great athlete or a very intelligent, smart person, and you see them do things that is not the person like endangering their own lives, you're not doing that unless you feel you don't have a choice. So on some level, I do wish that, on many levels, let me say it like that, I do wish that there was a more adequate system or places to help people who are struggling with any type of addiction. Because don't believe what you see in the movies. It is not that. I remember when I was a young social worker, I thought that, you know what? I'm going to help this person because clearly I want to help everybody. But I'm going to help my client. I'm going to send them to rehab, right? Let's get on the thing. Let me try to find this person a good rehab. Or the court has ordered this person into rehab. Sounds great. I learned real quick that just because the judge has ordered rehab doesn't mean the rehab, any rehab, has to take you. Mm-mm. I was told, like, my first year was just kind of like, yeah, your client's levels aren't high enough. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is, okay, my client has, what's the right word? Used enough drugs when you test them to be able to be in your program. We have people who have very high levels, so we're gonna treat those people. I had a client once. It just was so sad because it was like I'm calling, she's calling, we're doing everything that we know to do to find rehab. It's not, like I said, it's not what you see on the movies. It isn't. Like I said, why would somebody endanger their own life and the lives of their kids? Why would someone sell their child? People do. Uh, I've been in the courtroom with people. I'm just over here minding my business, waiting for my cases to be called. And I've been in the courtroom when people say, I've heard so much just listening. I'm not, and I'm really trying to just sit over here on my yoga mat and mind my business and do my notes or documentation. And it's so actually what happened was my friend put the cocaine in my drink. Really? Okay. Whoever that person is, they're not your friend. But you're lying. And I know that you are. I've also heard people say stuff like, oh my God. Well, how are you standing here incriminating yourself and your baby daddy, boyfriend, whomever, who's imprisoned, by the way, talking about, well, when he sell the drugs, he keep it in his mouth. So if he gets stopped by the popos, he can swallow it. I know someone who's done that because they didn't want to get the popo. They didn't want to go to jail. Messed up their whole entire system. They can't do anything for themselves. They can't walk. They can't cook food. They can't do nothing for themselves anymore because of that decision that they made for themselves. Which is another reason why I say if people are physically addicted, you telling them that they don't love their kids and whatever else, and they need to do it for their this, that, and other, that is not going to get them to go to rehab. It's not. It's a choice. But a lot of people can't also make that choice because they don't want to be dope sick. It's a real thing. No different than alcoholics. But alcohol is just an acceptable way to not think about your problems. It just is what it is. The only difference is they tried, our government tried during the prohibition to outlaw it. Remember, it was outlawed. People was over there making that moonshine, sis. That was, listen, they was over there making that moonshine. So tobacco, let me tell you some things that are recession proof. Sidebar. Tobacco, makeup, alcohol. There's one other one. think those are the three things. Yeah. Guess what? Let me tell you why. They're recession proof. No matter, people don't care. One thing they want to maintain, because people are vain, is beauty. It just is what it is. So people are going to buy their makeup. They're going to drink their alcohol. And they're going to smoke their tobacco. It is what's going to happen. It's just that. Those things don't stop because people are broke. Which is why I said people will do anything if they're physically addicted. Okay? They're not going to make good choices. And going to rehab sounds like a terrible choice. Because, like I said, for some people, not all. The thought of what happens to them when they don't have that substance scares them. Anyway, chime down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about what I said today. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Were you shocked by Ney-Yo's? Listen, that lady saying he was a drug addict, listen. Because don't Ney-Yo make all the good music for people in love? And he's almost like a reverse country singer. Well, I guess there are male country singers, now that I think about it, but he's kind of like that. You know, they're always talking about the blues. Somebody got divorced, somebody leaving, whatever it is. That's their thing for a lot, especially in, well, I would just say country music in general. That was shocking to me. I was like, oh. But the Diddy thing was shocking to me too. I was like, say what? Sure. They put a new word into the dictionary. Freak off. I never even heard of such a thing. Just like Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle put a new word, bootylicious. That wasn't in the dictionary before that. Sure. I will say this though. I didn't know anything about Diddy. None of that. Not 1 ounce. But I was very shocked by that. But what I will say is, one thing I never understood is it didn't matter where Diddy showed up. He always had on some shades. And I'm like, why is that? Exactly. And I'm not saying I know now, but it makes better sense. Just like it makes better sense to me now, all of the people who didn't want to believe Jeannie Mai, and they were saying, oh, on the internet, they were like, oh, she must have, oh, it was the whole thing about her mom. She just wants to try to make him assimilate, and he just doesn't want his mother-in-law moving in with him or with them. It must be a cultural thing. It makes sense now that she telling her truth, according to her. It makes sense. Now I'm like, oh, I know who the person was that was putting it out there in the ether. It's just I'm gonna let y'all run with it. I'm gonna call certain bloggers and whomever else and say these are the reasons why he's getting a divorce. That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. People aren't going to all of a sudden, all at once, come to this conclusion that it's the mom. Now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, if what Jeannie Mai is saying is truthful, it was Jeezy, his camp, allegedly. Yeah, it makes sense. You sat out there and this is why listen, I wasn't team him, and I used to love me some Jeezy. Oh my God. He was one of those celebrities that, listen, I didn't care what, some celebrities I'm just like, they can do whatever the hell they want. Oprah could do whatever the hell she wants. Okay? I don't care. What's the other lady's name? Anita Baker. Let that lady live. I am not bothered by Anita Baker. She's who she is and she ain't changing. And I respect it. How dare she throw Babyface off her tour? If Babyface threw her, Anita, off the tour, nobody would care. But how dare she be a woman and demand the same. But anyways, don't get me started. No shade to Babyface. Um, but people, I mean, to me, it makes sense now. You didn't say anything. You just hanging your wife out to dry. You letting people run with a story that now I fully believe was planted by him. If what Jeannie is saying is true. And the reason I believe what she's saying is true is because she did, according to her, tell a counselor or a therapist that they went to. And for the people out there that are like, well, if she told her therapist, why didn't the therapist do their job? I'm a therapist. Guess what? That's privileged information. A judge has to court order me to give you information for any client that happened in the session. There's a few circumstances where that isn't true. So, there is, if you disclose in your therapy session or assessment or any of those things that you are going to harm yourself, you are going to harm someone else. And when I say harm, I mean you are going to unalive yourself or unalive someone else. Then a therapist has the duty to warn, and they have to write a report, and they have to tell the police. But even before you do all of that, there's other steps. So you're going to ask people that are making these statements to you certain things, like, do you have a plan? Do you know when and where you're going to do this? Do you have the means? And by means, I mean, do you have access to a weapon? If you're going to unalive someone else, do you have access to, I don't know, poison or some sort of medication? If you're a doctor or a pharmacist, you certainly understand medicine, or you should, right? So you might want to take a look into access that the person has, right? But if they can, there's a set of questions to let the therapist know, or let the therapist know, or some other person who is required to report. So if you're a child, if in that session, doesn't matter who you're talking to, your client says that they are being abused, physical neglect, exploitation, whatever, there are people who are mandated reporters. So a therapist is a mandated reporter, nurses, doctors, police, firemen. They're all mandated reporters, meaning we have to report it within 24 hours. And it could be different in different states, but you do. But the reason that you want to ask certain questions is because if they don't have the means to do it, if they don't have access to certain things, they're not going to probably be able to do it. If they don't know when they're going to do it, then they may never do it. And also, too, what if they're lying? So you got to go make 55 million reports when they're not really maybe serious about it, especially when it's SI. A lot of times people just do it as a manipulation of whomever. But therapists don't, let me be very clear about this. We have a duty to warn and report certain things. I just gave you a list of things that we have to do. But I do not have to report as an adult that I am being abused. If my client sits in a session with me and says, my husband is doing whatever to me, if you say, I don't want to share that, I don't want to go to the police, and really, I probably would even ask that. I may ask, well, what's your plan? I want them to tell me. I don't want to lead them anywhere. Because the first thing people will do, even if you ain't a therapist, is blame you. You telling them what to do. So it's not your job. It's your job to listen. Provide resources if you need to. But yeah, if I'm an adult, you're an adult, I don't have to report the abuse of myself. I don't. Meaning someone else abusing me. I don't have to report that. I'm an adult and I have the right to self-determine. You can't force me to force my husband for me. Think about it like this. In court, they're not going to compel your wife or your husband to testify against you. They're not going to do it. You can't legally. I'm not. And plus, think about it. I mean, people get out for doing whatever to their wife, harming their wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. They get out and almost immediately go reoffend. So this person trying to get away and whatever else, that's probably why they're not going to really say anything. Because I know people are sitting on the internet and they're like, she just wants to put that out there. Okay, girl. She mad because he wouldn't let their mama live with her. Word on the street is, people witnessed it. And from one of the reports I read, it said that after he allegedly punched her in her eye or something like that, in her face, and caused some sort of brain hemorrhage, is my understanding. They went to therapy and talked about it, and he didn't deny it. So for all of the people out there trying to blame her and saying she doing it for money and whatever else, listen, if she told her therapist and he was sitting there and he didn't deny it, you think he's afraid of her? Jeannie weighed 90 pounds soaking wet. She is not a match for that man on no day of the week at all. But people love to kind of like go in on the perceived victim because this man is booked and busy and rich. Be clear, he met her on her nationally syndicated television show. Be clear. She want his money. He have more money than her. Okay. Maybe he does. But he still met her on her nationally syndicated TV show. Not the other way around. She was in people's living room 5 days a week. I can promise you, on no day of the week are people tuning in to Jeezy's whatever it is that he's doing 5 days a week. They're not. It's just a fact. They're not. And they're probably never going to. Why? He probably don't have a range to keep a captive audience. Just saying. Maybe he does. I don't know. But people, we just live in a toxic, conditioned environment in this world where especially women are programmed to go against other women. It's just ludicrous to me because most of the people that I meet that are the blame victim, they're usually women. So you don't want us to believe Jeannie, but if that was your daughter, you'd be cool with everybody running around on the internet talking about she's lying. Stop it. And that's the part that I can't get past. I'm like, if Jeannie was your daughter, this is what you're telling your daughter? Yeah, be clear. People are. You know why? This is the same people talking about stay with that man. If you don't do it, some other woman gonna do it. Okay, let her do it. I'm not swishing around your sewage about. Listen, for the community pink. Listen, I ain't got time. Anyway, I didn't talk to well over my time. But again, like I said, hit the like button. Thank you guys for subscribing and coming and listening to me talk on Chanel's Reality. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so before you leave. Let me know what you guys think of this story, who you believe, who you don't believe, and why, down in the comments. Until next time, y'all have a great day. Bye. Let's see. Hold on. What is happening?